Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. And a warm welcome to you to Guitar Time with Aston. Yes, well, if the capo's on the 7th fret, it's probably Here Comes the Sun. A song that you could possibly find equivalent great songs, but impossible to find a better song. As good a song as was ever written, Here Comes the Sun, one of the only songs you'll put your capo on the 7th fret for, although it's fun to have the capo on the 7th fret. You should try it. But here we're using the chord shapes from the key of D, which means D, G, A, as well as possibly E minor, F sharp minor, and B minor, and so forth. But because we've capoed the 7th fret, these chord shapes have different names. The D shape with the capo on the 7th fret is an A, same as an A chord down here. So this is actually in the key of A, but we're using the chord shapes from the key of D. By the way, what you want to do here is go and download our written chord chart for this song. It's available on musicnotes.com. The small fee involved just goes to the copyright holder. I get a little bit of chump change out of it myself. Nothing much. It's very affordable, and really, if you've got the chord chart, this video, which is a companion to the chord chart, will be ever so much more helpful to you. So get the chord chart. There's really 3 layers to Here Comes the Sun. Let's talk about that. There's first the part that's easy. D to G to A7, D to G to E7. This is easy chord fingering. And if we just put an easy strum on it, a down-up strum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so a down up for every beat. That's our simple strum we're going to give it. We're going to do more after we get the hang of it, but that's where we're going to start, with the down up strum in every beat. So play the chords through with the down up strum. So that's the first layer. That'll get you up to the lick. Okay, the lick. Now, the lick has some funny goofing around with the time signature from 4/4 to 3/4 to 2/4. The Beatles didn't do this intentionally. That's just how the song goes in their heads. So when we write it down on paper, it takes on this sort of more busy look of multiple time signatures. But don't fear it. It's nothing to be afraid of. You just count to 4 or count to 3 or count to 2. So we keep up with the down-up strum for the chorus, for the verses. We eventually come to the break. So that's the third thing we're going to learn in this song. So first things first, let's get smooth with the chord changing and the strum. Even if we're going to finger pick this thing, which we're gonna, we've got to get the strum and the feel of it right first. So step 1 is to know this song from a strumming perspective. Sing along. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, I say, it's alright. Get comfortable with that first. Now, simultaneously, aside from that, we're going to be working on the second layer of this song, and that's the lick. The lick is built around a D chord shape, and we're going to pluck the 3 strings that we're fingering on the D chord shape. We're going to pluck strings 3, 2, 1. Now, those of us who know our substitutions know D sus2 is D with our second finger lifted. So we're going to lift our second finger and play 3, 2, 1 strings. Now we're going to add our pinky to the 3rd string on the 4th fret from the capo. Now we're going to pluck 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to lift the pinky and pluck 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to lift the 1st finger and pluck 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to put it back and pluck 3, 2, 1. So here's what we just did. Pinky, no pinky, no 1st finger. 1st finger back on. Goes like this. Okay, and it's triplets. So it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. So after that, we have the simple melody. We're going to go 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, 2nd string, and 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So we get this. There's one more touch to the lick. That 1st note that we play with the pinky, that's the introductory way to play it. What we really do is we play it with the 2nd finger sliding up from the 2nd fret on the same string. So we slide that 2nd finger up from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret. Then we apply the 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the B string and the open E string. So we have, so instead of this, the simple version, which is fine if that's where you're at, use the simple version. But when you're ready for the record version, we're going to replace this pinky with the slid up 2nd finger. And then everything else is the same as the easy version. That really just leaves the 3rd and final stage of learning Here Comes the Sun, and that is the break. This is where we go to the 5 chord, which is the A shape. I recommend the 1 finger A because it's a little more tidy. We've only got 2 beats. We want to get in and out of this measure really quickly. From Midtro 2 on the chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now we have this lick. Open A, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of A, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of D. And you can slide up to it if you want, or finger up to it, or roll your fingers up to it like this. Start here with the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, then the 3rd finger, then the 4th finger. That's rolling up. Only we do it fast. Some people like to slide it. That's fine too. Or you can just play it. That's okay too. Now we're going to jump from that 3rd note to the 1st note of the F chord. The F chord shape, 4th string, 4, 3, 2 strings. Then we're going to finger the C chord and go 5, 4, 3 strings. Then we're going to finger the G chord but play 5, 4, 3 strings, just like we did with C. So F, C, G. That's 3 triplets in a row. F, C, G. Now, of that G chord you're playing, the bottom note, the 2nd note, the 6th string, the 5th string, that's it. Those 2 notes fill out the riff. So we have this. Okay, and it resolves to the D chord from Midtro 2 again. Same idea. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. This happens happens 6 times. Several measures of A7 to build some tension. This is a great place to put the A7 trick. For more on the A7 trick, catch my video of the same name. It's very useful in the key of D. But the simple way without the A7 trick would just be and it resolves to great craftsmanship. That leads us to page 2 of the chart. It's just a wrap-up of repeats. We repeat the verse, the chorus, the lick, the chorus, the lick. It's a wonderful, fun page, but there's nothing new introduced on the second page. It's just repeats, except for at the end, we have a visit to the triplets from the break again, the F, the C, the G thing again. Remember the triplets? Only goes like this. You don't do it 6 times, you just do it once and end with the D chord. So it's one last thing I will share with you on this. Since we're on the 7th fret and since we're using the chord shapes from the key of D, then drop D is always lurking underneath a rock somewhere. Rather than go through the tuning of dropping your guitar to drop D and then putting the capo on the 7th fret, that's the correct way to do it. But here's the fun way I love to do it without having to detune. Place a second capo on the 5th fret. Now take your other capo and put it upside down on 1 through 5. As close to the frets as you can get these. Now play the D chord shape just where you were before. Now we've got a low note in the bass that matches the chord shape. So even though this is an A chord, we now have A in the bass. But we're talking about the chord shapes. So this is D with D in the bass. It's the same idea. So we get this. I hope you've enjoyed learning about Here Comes the Sun, and thank you for watching this video.